Welcome to Apex Racing TV and round 7 of the Barber 2K Cup. We have been suffering with technical problems to start us off for today, so we apologise for missing qualifying. Everyone is lining up on the grid. Pole position is Philip Labour with a stonking 1 minute 55.371, with Paul Clapp alongside him second, Sebastian Job in third, and Conrad Macau in fourth position. We've got then Stein Shorthurst in fifth, with Graham Carroll in sixth, Paul F. Grillo in seventh, Mike Matheson in eighth, Bart Hoogmid in 9th, and Christopher Kroom in 10th. I think that's as far as we're going to get on the grid, I'm afraid, because we've got 8 seconds until we're expecting the green flag. Yeah, long lap here for these little cars around Zandvoort, but everyone's been very much looking forward to this. Great track for these cars, lots of elevation changes, lots of camber changes, fast and flowing, and yeah, hopefully they get a clean turn 1 and 2, and we'll have a good race ahead of us. Well, in fact, we've got a few more seconds still until race starts, sorry. I think it was 2 minutes of sitting here rather than 1 minute. So 11th position is Matt Defoe on the grid with Ricardo Ferreira in 12th. We've got Mike McCormick then in 13th with Eunice Bakara in 14th, Chris McGowan in 15th, and Kartik Pai in 16th, Rob Kane in 17th, Duncan Coppedge in 18th, Brian Dole in 19th, Chris Simpson in 20th, Ove Pearson in 21st, Ryan Devlin in 22nd, Scott Hanley 23rd, Francesco Tonin 24th, and Neil Kemp is in 25th. Right, perfect timing. Green flag at round 7, final round here of the Barber 2K Cup from Zandvoort, and they're all storming in towards turn 1.
Yeah, hi Lee, sorry, late to the party. Yeah, again everybody, huge technical issues coming into turn 1. Looks like a good start from everyone so far.
Oh, they're 3 wide, Alex, practically the leaders into turn 1 there.
So we've got contact further back as well, I'm not sure who that was. I'm afraid we've got no overlay on screen. One of the few technical glitches that's coming up, it just doesn't seem to be working today for whatever reason.
Philip Labour did a great job of defending his pole position into turn 1 there. It looked like Paul Clapp might have got a bit of a run on him, but it didn't work out. Sebastian Jobs managed to leapfrog ahead into second, so that's put Stein Shorthurst then in third, and Paul Clapp, looking to challenge the first position to turn 1, is now struggling to hang on to 5th position, so he's got Conor Macau alongside him, and he's just had to slot in at the end, so Paul Clapp hangs on to 4th.
Great shot actually as they work their way through this track. Something about this track actually, it's got a great little flow, so I'm sure we're going to have a good race here today.
And Philip Labour is still under lots and lots of pressure from Sebastian. Sebastian makes a move up the inside and just about going to hang on to the outside now for the next turn as it doubles back in itself. So he's going to be struggling to keep that momentum all the way around the outside. And Stein Shorthurst looks to capitalise, and he runs into second position now. But then Sebastian Job is going to have the inside line then for the chicane at turns 10 and 11.
Yeah, obviously Sebastian just shown on the screen, looks like a different livery out there for us on here. Just again, one of the many things that we haven't been able to get up and running for this one. I'm glad that we even managed to get the green flag in. So yeah, we'll try and keep you apprised with who is who on the grid for this final round of the 2K Cup.
And Sebastian Job did lose that spot in the end to Stein Shorthurst. So coming out the final corner now, we've got Philip Labour leading the field, holding on to his first position. That was a tough opening lap for him, but he held on to it. Stein Shorthurst then in second with Sebastian Job right on his gearbox, looking to challenge. We've got a car on the grass on the exit as well. That might have been Paul Clapp. No, Paul Clapp is still in 4th position. Graham Carroll, I think it was. Oh, dancing around the leaders there. 3 wide into the braking zone. I think Stein Shorthurst gave Philip Labour a little bit of a tapper for entering the apex there, but they seem to have kept their momentum, and they're still in the same order.
Yeah, good driving from all of them there. Seb trying to get around the outside and well, both drivers there, but didn't manage to do it. I think Stein Shorthurst just picked up a little bit of front wing damage.
And more contact, sorry Alex, so Graham Carroll just got spun around at the hairpin.
Yeah, as we've seen in previous races, actually, these little skippies can run okay with without too much of an issue with that front wing. So again, 2 wide further back, Seb up the inside this time. Surely will carry the momentum, and so right hander the next corner, so he will have the high ground. Shorthurst going to try and hold it, but no way. Oh, he smashes the curb, and actually that sends him out wide. He's going to lose the place straight back to Shorthurst there.
Yeah, he's showing damage front wing to me, so we'll see how he copes with that. But he's trying to hang on now for this cut back into turn 9. He holds on to that second position. Conor Macau battling hard just behind with Paul Clapp as well. So Conor Macau up into 4th. Gets a little bit sideways on the exit though and that relegates Paul Clapp down into that 5th position. We've got Paul F. Grillo looking to really move forward there as well in 6th. So this is a frantic start to race.
Sorry, you carry on, mate.
Yeah, I was just saying, what a frantic start to race we've got. All of these lead cars squabbling away, it seems, most corners of each lap.
Well, just look at the shot I've got on screen right now. I mean, there's no real gaps formed anywhere. The whole, all the way down to 20th place, is just in one big fat long train at the minute. It's great driving out there.
So Philippe Leibert's got a little bit of breathing space to Sebastian Job. It looked like Seb got a good drive out of that final corner. So Philippe Leibert had to defend early. He's hugging that inside pit wall all the way down into turn 1. Shorthurst tries to follow the line of Sebastian Job. Let's see who can be the latest and bravest on the brakes. Sebastian Job's going to try and carry that edge around the outside. And we've seen that before. You can make that outside line work through turn 1. And he's just about getting the drive. He might just hang on now into turn 2. And he does, and now he's lined up for turn 3, thinking hold on to the edge of the track. Philippe Leibert wants this race win, though. He was not giving him an inch as they head into turn 3 there, really squeezing them onto the inside apex, and that worked out for him because Sebastian struggled, it looked like, a little bit through turn 3, and that's given Philippe a run back. Great drive, and they're almost 3 wide coming through his S's now.
Yeah, Philippe said last week in the broadcast how much determination he had to try and win this one. It's a good track, he goes strong here, pole position again just shows how quick he is. Oh, around the outside, not a lot of room there, and needs to defend. Shorthurst up the inside, darting around the outside. Great driving from these guys. Oh, Shorthurst surely up the inside this time. I thought there was going to be contact there. As we've seen from Seb last time by, you can hang it round the outside here though, so, and he does just that. He's going to have the inside, but Shorthurst not trying to give up this place this time. He's going to have the run into the chicane. Still too wide, these guys.
And Sebastian Jobs just getting a little bit of a breather as they're squabbling around, but those cars behind are starting to close quickly now as these guys are holding each other up. Shorthurst looks to take that inside line into the chicane, and he does. He makes that position, finally moves into that 2nd position. Philippe Leibert, fighting tooth and nail, has been relegated into 3rd for the moment.
Few cars just going into the gravel on the exit of the of that sort of chicane there, very banked corner as well, reminiscent of sort of the Nordschleife carousels type corner there.
Oh, Philippe Leibert wide.
Just running out wide, doesn't lift at all, but he is going to be under pressure from Conrad Macau now.
Yeah, and Philippe doesn't defend to that inside, so he allows Conrad to take the inside line heading into turn 1. And Shorthurst got a great run on Sebastian over the start-finish line. Shorthurst was ahead in the braking zone, but Sebastian managed to come back at him under the brakes into turn 1. And Philippe Leibert did just about manage to hold onto that 3rd position from Conrad Macau. I think when we get a slight breather, we'll have a quick run through the field, but I don't think quite now is the time, otherwise we're going to be missing these battles. As you said, I could just see that constant string of cars coming all the way through the shot, just no brakes at all in the field still. Shorthurst pressuring hard on Sebastian as they head through turns 4 and 5.
This is what Skippy Racing is all about. Massive packs, trying to work your way through them, waiting for drivers to make mistakes. Absolutely great shots to go through here.
And you say mistakes. Philippe Leibert, I think, made a little mistake coming through turn 6. I think he missed the apex, and so he's had to allow Conrad Macau up into that 3rd position. Leibert down to 4th.
Yeah, not the race that Philippe wanted for the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking, he's not always been at the sharp end this season as we've maybe seen him in the previous couple of seasons. So he's had a good strong couple of laps, and I think he's got the pace. He just maybe hasn't quite had the situations work out for him. So it's still early, lap 4 of 21. I think he looks as quick as anybody out there. I think we could see him remaining well and truly at the front here by the end of the race. And so Sebastian and Shorthurst just making a very small break for it at the front of the field. I think Sebastian is going to be a lot of pressure again as they head in towards turn 1. So let's watch Sebastian if he's going to defend hard coming down the front straight, or if he's allowing him to take that position. Note, so Shorthurst is forced to the outside. Sebastian feels confident he'll be able to keep him on the brakes like he did the previous laps. So Shorthurst goes much deeper this time, tries to take a much faster apex. They're side by side still. Shorthurst gets a good run through the middle of the corner, and he might just get the drive now. I think Sebastian's going to be struggling just to hang on to this into turn 2, and they're still side by side. Now Shorthurst got the inside for turn 3, and that took him 3 corners, but he's got that first position for now. Connor and Macau are looking to cheekily stick his nose up the inside of Sebastian as well, but nothing doing quite that lap. So let's have a quick run through the standings for the moment. Show Shorthurst has just taken over that lead from Sebastian Job in 2nd, Connor and Macau in 3rd with Philippe Leibert in 4th, Paul Clapven in 5th with Paul F. Grillo in 6th, Mike Matheson having a good race again in 7th with Bart Hoogmid in 8th, Christopher Kroom in 9th, Matt Defoe in 10th, Ricardo Ferreira 11th with Kartik Pai in 12th, Yunus Puka in 13th, with Mike McCormick in 14th, and rounding up the top 15 is Rob Kane. So we have got a slight split in the field now. So we've got the first 2, 4, 6, sort of 7 cars, just in a slight group, slight lead pack with Hoogmid in 8th, Christopher Kroom in 9th, and Matt Defoe in 10th in the 2nd, a little pack of 3. And then we got 4 more cars after that. So yeah, we've just got a couple of small groups just building.
Yeah, let's just take a little bit look further back. There seems to be, like you say, that Bart Hoogmid, there's a little gap there, just 1.1 seconds, and then yeah, a bit further back as well. I think that's Rob Kane's just lost the back of Mike McCormick there, so 1.7 seconds between them, but still lots of those little trains that we fairly used to seeing now in this series. There's a few guys just kick through the runoff area there and into the gravel trap, but these little skippies can you can dip a wheel off here and there and they can just keep on motoring.
And challenge for the lead again. Sebastian Job tries to repeat the move that Shorthurst put on him the lap before, so he goes around the outside of turn 1 this time, gets a good drive out the corner, and he's made that position before they even enter turn 2. So Sebastian Job up into first, but sideways through turn 2 though, four-wheel drift, but just about manages to hold on to the edge of the track. Easy to run out a road on the exit there at the best of times, so did well to keep that on. Yeah, Sebastian Job in first, Shorthurst in second, and Conor Macau still taking that final podium position. So we didn't really have now that race is just settling down ever so slightly for a moment. We didn't get a chance to talk about the championship or anything, but our lead 2 drivers in the championship are both missing from this round. So we've got Rico Alatalo, who is leading the championship from his 3 wins out of 4 that he had at the beginning of the season, and Vinicius Roch in second. Neither driver here today, so that is going to confirm Rico Alatalo as taking the overall championship. I don't think that even if Philippe Leibert gets win, fastest lap and pole position, that he is able to get enough points with the drop round system to leapfrog both of them. So I think it'll be Rico Alatalo for the championship.
Yeah, congratulations to Riku. I mean, he fared this early. I think he fully deserved it. Very, very amazing pace this season. Perhaps not the fastest driver out there, I have to say. I think Vinicius had him on raw pace, but just he was the quickest in the pit stops, and that's where it seems to be you win these races.
Yeah, and it got him into commanding positions going into the last third of the race a couple of times, where he was able to defend his lead maybe, as I see 2 cars run out over the exit grass onto that final out of the final corner onto the front straight. Sebastian Job and Shorthurst again side by side as turn 1. Conrad Macau trying to get his nose in amongst there as well. Sebastian trying to go around the outside. Conrad trying to follow the line of Shorthurst on the inside, see if he can get a run on Sebastian. They touch wheels, Shorthurst and Sebastian touch wheels as they head towards turn 2, but they both escape it. Sebastian just about managing to head onto the edge of the track, but Shorthurst isn't giving up this time. He's hanging on there, through the hairpin. They're interlocking wheels through the hairpin. Shorthurst managed to stay up alongside, and they're still side by side, Alex, going into turn 5.
Yeah, great driving from these guys out there, so it's no small feat to keep that close and not end up in a massive pile. This pack now 2.1 seconds ahead of Christopher Kroom as well, so top 7 guys started to break away now.
Still side by side, we're halfway through the lap, Alex. This move started at turn 1, it's still not been completed, and finally Sebastian just gets his nose in front, but Shorthurst might come straight back at him. He does, so they're side by side again. We're on turn 8 now, and they're still just swapping positions continuously. Looks like Sebastian's just got a car length on him finally. So yeah, that took from turn 1 to halfway through turn 9 before the move was finally made.
I thought Conrad was going to have a little look to make a move there as well, but settles in behind Shorthurst there. But yeah, great driving from those 2.
And so yeah, this little lead pack has closed up a bit now from those two having to be running at a reduced pace, running side by side each other through that whole lap. So Sebastian Job, then Shorthurst, then Conor and Macau, then Philip Labour, then Paul Clapp, then Paul F. Grillo, and Mike Matheson is sitting at the back of that little lead group for now, just waiting and watching.
Yeah, Mike, he's a very, very quick driver and very, very patient. We've seen him many times this season sort of in that position. I think he deserves a good finish at some point. He just has some bad luck here and there, and you never know, this might be his race that he nails that pit stop and can get onto the podium and maybe even that top step.
It was a little bit tighter going into turn 1 between the two leaders there. Sebastian Job wasn't quite alongside enough as they went into the apex, but Shorthurst gave him the space and allowed him just to continue through. Conor and Macau looks to nip up inside of Sebastian as they head through turn 3, but doesn't quite get the drive out the corner. Already, Alex, we're at the point where the guys are going to be starting to consider these pit stops. So anyone in this lead group thinks they're getting held up, which I imagine they probably must do. They must think they can run quicker on their own. I think one more lap and we might start seeing people come in.
Yeah, obviously worth pointing out that we can't see how many laps have gone and how many are going, so if you can keep us apprised with that information, Lee, that would be great.
We are halfway through lap 8, so I'm expecting pit stops between lap 9 and 12.
Just to have a little bit of a look further back, Christopher Kroon, we'll just jump on with him. You can see him leading this second pack. That's Bart Hoodmig behind him, and Ricardo Ferrer, Matt Defoe, Jonas behind him, Kartik Pai, Mike McCormick, and then we've got a little gap to Rob Kane, who's got Chris McGowan behind him, Duncan Coppage and Brian Lockwood. Chris Simpson and Scott Hanley, just falling a little bit further off, and then the rest of the pack all sort of spread themselves out further back.
And Shorthurst has just managed to break away just slightly from Sebastian that last lap, as has and Conor McCall's dropped back a little bit now as well. So the top 3 cars are just spread out slightly, but we do see them close pretty well as they come down the front straight. So Philip Labour, it looks like he's the next car to look to make a move. He's tucked up underneath the rear wing of Conor Macau as they thunder down towards turn 1. And he looks to go to the inside. Conor Macau chooses not to defend. Philip Labour manages to get the car slow down, just about hanging on to the inside, but it's who's going to get the drive out that corner for the run. Conor Macau runs wide up onto the gravel. Philip Labour isn't quite able to get that moved up. So I would be really quite surprised if we don't see at least a couple of these cars in the lead pack pit at the end of this lap.
Yeah, I feel you're right. They're definitely, all this battling that's going on is definitely holding them up, and they're about to go at it again, just ahead, and I'm sure this pack is going to bunch straight back up again. Yeah,
they're side by side, so Sebastian's got a great run coming out of turn 3 there, and he just drove straight past Shorthurst that time to take the lead for the moment. Shorthurst again not giving up, wants to come straight back at him, stays right in his gearbox. These guys are running high 55, low 56s, and pole position was a 55.5. Or 55.3, sorry, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, 55.3, sorry, so they definitely can run quicker, so it'd be interesting to see half a lap to go what people are going to do with pit stops.
Yeah, and of course, as these little skippies get lighter, they get faster and faster as well, so it just goes to show there's definitely a lot more time on the table if the guys out there can get themselves a couple of clear laps. That pack, they're led by Christopher Kroon, back up to 2 seconds is the gap there, so from back of Mike Matheson, so they must have had a little battle further back as well, just to just drop back a bit. They'd got that all the way down to 1 second after that crazy side-by-side lap between Steb and Shorthurst, and I think we might have a repeat of that again.
Right, so who's going into pit lane? Looks like Sebastian is in, Shorthurst is in, Conor Macau continues by, Philip Labour in, Mike Matheson in. Philip Labour hits the wall going into pit lane entry, but as long as he's able to keep his momentum down pit lane, he will get a fast toe free repair, so hopefully that will not have cost him too much time, but not the optimal route into pit lane. That'll cost him a second or so.
We'll keep an eye on these so we can see who gets out of the pits first. I should be able to feature the times, but won't be able to show anything on screen. It looked like Shorthurst might have been a little bit late. Seb's away quite comfortably ahead. Shorthurst second. Seb was 11.9. Shorthurst 12.9. Mike Matheson 14.5. just leaving now. Philippe Labour must have got some sort of speeding penalty, so that's him out 17.2. Chris McGowan also jumped in with 12.5. Got a few other guys in the pits now, just leaving. Rob Adams there, 14.9.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Pit lane speeding on entry there for Philippe Labour. Yeah, he went in way too hot, clouted the wall on the right hand side. Conrad McCall might be the car in prime position here. He was the first of the cars not to pit, and he's got a nice clear track in front of him. He's got a good bit of breathing space behind, so he's not got to be watching his mirrors, particularly this lap. If he can put in a lap or two now of good pace, he may well find that works out quite nicely for him. Just behind then is Paul Clapp and Paul F. Grillo, the next two cars who are going to be considering when they're going to be making those stops.
Good race for these two guys, actually. They've always seemed to have been on the fringe, caught in that pack that always falls off the leaders. This time they're with them, so let's see what they can do. We know that these guys are very quick on their own. Let's have a look. Anyone into the pits this time? Conrad, is he going by? Looks like he might be heading in as well. He is, and they're staying out further back. So, yeah, Paul Clapp stays out. Paul Grillo stays in his draft. Right, let's stick with our provisional leader and just see if he comes out. We've got somebody else into the wall. Who was that lead coming into the pits? Do we know?
I see Kartik Pai certainly was one car who clouted the wall and sent the entry cone flying.
He was crabbing as well in the background there as well. So, yeah, that's probably not good.
Sebastian Job comes over the start-finish line now. Sebastian Job with Shorthurst just a second behind.
11.8 for McCall there. That's a good stop.
Oh, he's right with him. He's just missed out, so he's right in that lead pack. He's in their draft, which will be important when they get back to that front straight. So it looks like these three cars are off and away. Conor McCall. Big sideways moment coming through too. Does well to gather it up and doesn't run out of too much road. Takes a little bit of grass, but doesn't really look like it cost him a huge amount. He's got to just stay in their draft for the next lap or two and make sure he stays in the fight.
A couple of tenths maybe all that was lost there, but like you say, the important thing, he's still well within that 1 second barrier and gets himself the draft, which, you know, we saw how we see how strong that is here. There's overtaking going on everywhere tonight, so let's have a look. Paul Grillo made his way past Paul Clapp that lap as well. Are they going to come in? Actually, Paul Grillo looks like he's got a tiny little bit of damage on his left-hand side pod there, so I don't know if he picked that up during that move. I would hope that those guys wouldn't have held each other up on this lap. This would have been the important one to absolutely nail. Are they coming in this time, or are they going to go by one more time?
And as they come out of that final corner, the answer is going to be that. I was both diagonally aiming for it to start with, but only Paul F. Grillo goes into pit lane. Paul Clapp continues by. Paul F. Grillo is yet the next car to clatter into that inside wall. So hopefully, again, he got the car slowed down enough before we hit the speed limit sign.
Let's jump and have a look, see where Seb is. He's leading this group that has pitted at the moment. See, he's going to get out in front. We'll keep an eye on Paul Grillo's time in the pits. Something's not quite right there.
So Sebastian Job comes over the start-finish line, still followed closely by Shorthurst.
12.1 for Paul Grillo. Got himself a fresh car as well. Comes out just behind these guys. He might be just outside the draft. It looks like 1.3 seconds, so might not have been the right call to have stayed out that extra lap.
The leader's getting a little bit tangled with the back marker there. Francesco Tonin just not quite knowing where to put the car, but fortunately all three continue by. Hopefully Paul F. Grillo is able to not lose any time either, and that looked like that might have worked out okay. So Conor McCall looks like he's just starting to lose touch with Sebastian and Shorthurst, who really look to be the two quickest cars out there at the front now. And then it's just, those pit stops are just strung the rest of that field out a little bit.
Yeah, we've still got a few guys out there. Paul Clapp obviously was in and amongst that group as well, just trying to pump in the laps. Last time by was a 156.0, which is pretty quick. Compared that to Seb though, he was a 155.4, so you know, he loses himself 0.6 of a second there. You can't afford to lose that sort of time. When you're holding on in the pack and you know the guys in front are a little bit quicker, sometimes it's worth just to jump in next lap. Maybe you thought they were going to fight each other a little bit more than they have done, but actually Seb and Stevenstein and Shorthurst there have kept pretty much single file since the pit stops to make sure they retain their lead position. In he comes, here comes Paul.
Awesome.
See if he gets a clean entry in.
Sebastian
He
Job
does.
was a bit hot going into the chicane and really struggled to get it slowed down on entry, so he has got Shorthurst and Conor McCall closing back up on him a little bit as they come through the penultimate corner. And Sebastian runs wide on the exit of the penultimate corner as well, so Shorthurst is practically pushing him through the final corner now, ready to make that move into turn 1.
Now, interestingly, drivers have been able to get past before the start-finish line as well, which could make the last lap very, very interesting. It's
so
close.
It looks like Paul Clapper's going to be a little way back from the top 3, but Shorthurst takes a position into turn 1, gets a drive. I thought out the corner initially, but no, Sebastian Job got the better exit. They're still side by side through turn 2, and Sebastian Job covers it off. Conor McCall is right with those lead 3 cars, or lead 2 cars. So actually, Paul F. Grillo and Paul Clapp have come out pretty close together still, so they've got each other for company to try and pull each other back up to those lead 3 cars. Just behind them, then the next lead car is going to be Ricardo Ferreira, I think. So he's had a good run through pit stops. He's made some good position. Let's hope he hasn't short fueled. Mike Matheson is not wanting to stay behind him for very long. He's trying to push on forward a bit further. And then Philip Labour then is the next car up after having his what we're presuming is a pit lane speeding penalty.
Yeah, way long in the pits. Mike Matheson wasn't that great either, 14.5 seconds. And we've got some smoke ahead. What's that? That's Paul Grillo? Is that making some sort of mistake there? I'm not entirely sure. It definitely looks like he's dropped back into the clutches of these two. Paul no, he is out there as well. It's just not quite showing a gap. So yeah, not sure what's going on there, but a little bit of smoke kicked up, and yeah, definitely a problem for Paul because he was not too far behind Conrad McGow, was he, going into this lap? So
yeah, I think
let me see if I can bring a replay up. Actually, we might be able to do a replay.
Yeah, I think Paul F. Grillo and Paul Clapp were the 2 that were pretty close together. So yeah, it looks like it's Grillo that's lost out there as the leaders come back over the start-finish line. Shorthurst looking to make a move back on Sebastian.
Wasn't quite far enough, so we'll jump back live to the action. I seem to have located roughly where the overlay is on this profile. It's not on a screen, it's just in the middle of nowhere. I just caught the bottom of the replay, so yeah, we'll get to the bottom of the technical issues, ready for this the special event that will go out next weekend. So if you don't know anything about it, get yourself into the Skip Barber forum. There's the 2K Cup Eliminator at the Watkins Glen. I believe it's the Cup configuration. Are we doing Lee for that? I don't know if you've caught that.
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't know.
But yeah, that looks very exciting. So it's basically it's not exactly a traditional race in this sense. It's we're going to keep on going until, I believe it is, when you get to a certain point, each driver who's last basically gets eliminated out of the race, and we keep going until we get a winner. So guys will be making overtakes really rapidly, trying to get to the front.
That sounds very interesting. Look forward to seeing that next week as I see Sebastian Job, Stein Shorthurst and Conrad McCall all nose to tail still. I was perhaps thinking that Conrad might struggle to hang on to those front 2, but no, he's right with them. So they are running at all a quicker pace than they were before the pit stop. So mid 55s for all 3 cars. Conrad McCall was actually very slightly the quickest car of the 3. But we've got Paul Clapp a little bit on his own after Paul F. Grillo had his error or issue a lap or 2 ago. Philip Labour then is the next car up, so he has made a couple of positions. He's got past Ricardo Ferreira, and Mike Matheson has disappeared from my screen. He's dropped way back.
14th, yeah,
into,
at the moment,
14th.
So, wasn't the last lap that he had his mistake on, but something went off. Matt Defoe last lap, shown as a 2-minute 2 as well, but still in 10th place. So don't know if that was a late pit stop for Matt, or maybe my timing screen is just not updating properly as well.
So yeah, that's allowed Philip Labour to make a good couple of positions just in that last lap or 2. Right, we are on lap 15 of 21. So these laps are rapidly ticking away, and yeah, it looks like it's all about these podium positions. Sebastian Job, Stein Shorthurst and Conrad McCall it looks like maybe even now that Conrad's got himself well and truly with the pack, he's just maybe just biding his time slightly and just looking to see how hard Shorthurst, sorry, and Sebastian are gonna push themselves.
Yeah, just having a look to see if there's any other little individual battles. Let's just quickly take a look at Matt Defoe and Kartik Pai here. Just having a little run at the moment. Matt having a look into the fast right-hander. Kartik Pai just drifting that rear end out. These are two guys that have been floating around the top 10 all season, but just for whatever reason not managed to get themselves in there. And yeah, it's great to see them battling it. This will be for 10th place as well, so yeah, some sort of honour on the line here. It looks like a good little battle going off behind as well. That's Rob Kane, Chris McCowan, and Mike Matheson obviously recovering, so we expect Mike to be able to try and make his way past these guys, but not easy when you're the third car in a train here, because driver in front of course always gets a tow from that lead car as well, so if you can't make any advantage for it, it's really difficult for Mike to progress.
Sebastian Job looks like he's pushing very, very hard, really hot again into the chicane halfway through the lap, and overcooks it on the exit as well, losing all of the curb and the gravel and more. And that's just cost him a little bit of momentum as they head down into turn 1 now. Shorthurst takes the outside line. Conrad Cow just hanging back a little bit, seeing if he can capitalise. He thought he saw an opportunity to stick his nose underneath Shorthurst there, but nothing doing. So Sebastian Job stays in front for now. Shorthurst in second, Conrad Cow then in third. Depending on how hard these guys squabble, we may well see Paul Clapp start to draw his way back towards him. He's running at a similar pace. So all he was going to take is a little bit of fireworks from his front three, and he could be right there as well.
Yeah, what's it, 3.5 seconds, Paul Grillo. He's got himself back into 5th place. But yeah, there's quite a gap between them now, and he's actually under pressure from Labour. Actually, Ricardo Ferrer looks like he's dropped off of these two as well, so not quite sure what happened to Ricardo, because he was going really well and fighting with these guys after the pits. Maybe did just take a little bit too little fuel and is trying to save a little bit now. Bart Hoekme tucked up behind him as well.
And Philip Labour's looking to really move forward as soon as he can, so he's looking pretty aggressive on Paul Grillo already, looking to take any opportunity that he might have. He is feeling good and confident here in this track. All of these lead 6 cars are all running very similar paces right up to the leaders. 55.5 to 55.6 is all the way down, so yeah, strong pace from all of these cars. It's a shame maybe they just ended up getting spread out a little bit from those pit stops. Right, so coming back over the start-finish line, Sebastian Job runs wide on the exit of the final corner. She's got a little bit of breathing space to Shorthurst, but he's going to come back at him in that draft. Sebastian Job goes defensive quite late. Shorthurst has to take to the outside. Conrad McCall looking to get in amongst there as well. He doesn't give him any space this time. Almost makes it alongside Shorthurst, as Shorthurst is alongside Sebastian at the same time. So yeah, I was saying about Conrad maybe hanging back and biding his time, but it's looks like he's decided that's enough of that now. He wants to get in and amongst that fight and be battling for his first win of the season.
Yeah, it's great to see guys fighting. There's nothing to go for, nothing as far as championships. So go for the win and just go out in some glory for the end of this second season of the 2K Cup.
Yeah, and Conrad McCall has got 1 podium position so far this season at round 3. So yeah, he knows he can run at this pace. But it's been good to see a couple of different drivers maybe mixing it right at the very front here. This week we were speaking to the guys last week saying how much more of maybe a driver's circuit it's been than a couple of others we've seen during the season with the draft effects that we've maybe had during the races. So yeah, good to see different tracks playing to maybe the strengths and weaknesses of slightly different drivers. And Philip Labour has got past Paul Grillo now, so Philip Labour is up into 5th position. Yeah, Paulo Grillo relegated back down to 6th. So the leaders are coming back to the final corner again. Sebastian Job pushing very, very hard again, runs out of road on the penultimate corner. That allows Shorthurst to get right underneath his gearboxes in a much stronger position this time as they come over the start-finish line. So Sebastian defends already to the pit wall. Shorthurst is up alongside already. Conor McCall looking still again to get in and amongst there. Shorthurst tries to cover off that line as he got such a good run on the pit straight, but wasn't quite able to take the apex. And Sebastian, contact between the two. Sebastian Job into the wall. That looked racing instant. Certainly Conor McCall sideways on the next corner as well. I mean, those guys have been so close all race long, and it looked like just a bit of interlocking wheels. I think Sebastian maybe came over to take his racing line, and Shorthurst still had his nose in there. So it'll be interesting to take a look back at some point. But yeah, Sebastian Job is down for now. So Shorthurst up into first. Conor McCall still right in his gearbox. He definitely can smell a win now in second position currently. Paul Clapp then in third. Philip Labour fourth. Paul Grillo in fifth. Bart Humid in sixth. Ricardo Ferreira in seventh. Yunus Pukara in eighth. Matt Defoe in ninth. And currently then taking that 10th position is Kartik Pai. So yes, that was a real shame there, just breaking up that lead pack a little bit, but we've still definitely got a race on for the leaders, and it looks like the race pace at the front stepped up a little bit there. So the last time by, Shorthurst ran a 55.1, which is by far quicker than I've seen the rest of the race. 55.5 I think is as quick as we've seen, or certainly I've noticed, and Conor McCall was right there as well with 55.2, so they have really picked it up just in these closing laps. Are about to complete lap 18, so that will leave us 2 full laps remaining after this, and it'll be very interesting to see how Conrad is able to do with Shorthurst.
Desperately trying to get the overlay working just for the last few laps, but failing miserably for whatever reason. We're having terrible problems today with technical issues. So, but yeah, just 3 drivers out in this one. Lee, Seb now just gone, and then Brian Lockwood and Graham Carroll. Actually, great driving from everyone out there. 24 guys still out there and on the lead lap too.
And Conor McCall gave a good run on Shorthurst there coming over the start-finish line, made him go defensive, but wasn't quite able to make that move stick for now. And as they head into turn 3, Conor McCall is trying to figure out where it is he's going to get past. Maybe just loses a couple of car lengths going through turn 3 in the hairpin there, and he's going to be desperate to close that back up again before they get back to the front straight.
Having a look, see if there's any other battle. Still that Matt Defoe, Kartik Pai battles continuing. This is obviously now for 9th place with Steb retiring there. So yeah, I think either driver will be quite happy with that. Chris McGowan some 2.6 seconds further back. So as long as they don't battle too hard, they're guaranteed top 10, which is great for them. Just seeing if there's any other faces. Duncan Coppedge way down in 14th place at the moment. I expect Duncan to be a little bit further up. Rob Kane just 0.3 of a second behind Mike Matheson. Those guys have been battling ever since the pit stops as well. Back to the leaders. Still just the 0.3 of a second between them.
And Conor McCall looks like he's pushing very hard again as well, using all of the track and more as they exit the chicane, trying to make sure he's as close as he can be for getting back to this front straight. And he's lost a little bit of ground maybe this lap, but he should be able to close most of that, if not all of it, up in the draft here as they come over the start finish line to complete lap 19, begin lap 20. He's definitely not going to have closed enough to make a move this time by, so he's going to have to wait for one more go. But he closes massively under braking there into the apex of turn 1, so he was right underneath his rear wing as they got to the apex. So he's managed to gain a good couple of tenths coming through that corner. Didn't really lose a huge amount on the exit, and so yeah, if he can keep this run going again through the rest of the lap and stay right in his draft, then he's got a good shout of looking to make that move on the final lap. Paul Clapp then is being caught quickly now by Philip Labour. Philip Labour at 55.288 last time by, 0.6 quicker than Paul Clapp in front, but it might just be too little too late, and unless Paul Clapp makes an error. Paul Grillo now looks like he is under pressure from Bart Hoogmid, so Bart Hoogmid looks to make a move up into 6th position, but he has to hang on for now through the fastesses.
Yeah, sorry Lee, just to keep me apprised with what's going on as well. What lap are we on and how many laps have we got left to go here in this race?
We are halfway through lap 20 of 21, so we have 1.5 laps remaining.
We're going to come down to these 2 laps then. Conrad Macau just 0.1 of a second behind. He's having a little look at this point now into the far chicane. He's got the inside line, a little bit wiggly under braking. Oh, too wide. Chops his nose off there to Steinshorst. Doesn't want to concede the position right now. Lucky to get out of that damage free for both drivers there.
Yeah, it worked very, very nicely. Conrad Macau's rear end came round, and he needed to, because that allowed the car to just to pivot away slightly from Shorthurst. Unfortunately, then on the next corner from Conrad, it looked like he had a little bit of a scruffy time going into the penultimate corner, and that's lost him now the opportunity heading into turn 1. So I thought he had survived the chicane okay, but yeah, it looked like he then lost a little bit more time. So Shorthurst now needs a clean first half a lap. We saw how quickly Conrad did manage to close that last lap, so outbrakes himself that time, might be able to cut back to the apex and straighten off that exit a little bit more, but I think it's down to Shorthurst now just to get a clean final lap. Philip Labour has closed a lot again to Paul Clapp, so another 0.5 of a second gained that lap, so Philip I think is going to be right with him over the start finish line, but not quite enough I suspect to really challenge for that final podium spot.
And it looks like Shaw has been keeping a little bit of pace to himself, because he's absolutely on it now. 0.7 seconds is the gap. It looks like Conrad's really struggling, and maybe there was a little bit of contact and picked up a bit of suspension damage that we don't know about, because he's really struggling to keep with him now.
Yeah, I think Conrad maybe... Shorthurst, on my screen at least, takes a big clump of inside curb going through its turn 7. And jumps the front of the car into the air, but he seems to carry on unaffected for now. So hopefully that was just a lag view of it on my screen. But that could have been pretty catastrophic halfway through the final lap to have done that when it looked like the race was done and dusted. So yeah, still Shorthurst has got a good comfortable gap now from Conrad Macau. Just needs to get through the chicane clearly, and then 2 corners remaining.
Yeah, Conrad not able to close in at all this lap, so definitely feel like he might have just picked up a little bit of something in that instant with the chicane there, and it's not going to have a run. Labour's 0.4 of a second back. He might well have a run coming out of this final corner. We'll have to keep an eye on it, but here comes Stein Shorthurst to take victory in the final round of Season 2 of the 2K Cup. Great drive by him.
Philip Labour is going to be right with Paul Clapp. Paul Clapp had an awful penultimate corner, went right up onto the gravel, and Philip Labour is right with him on the line. Philip Labour takes that 3rd position. That would have been much closer if Paul Clapp had managed to clean into the lap there. He went a good cars for more.
We've got another fight here. I can't get my mouse to it at all quick enough. But I think that was Paul Grillo. I'm not sure who that was with him. I think maybe he might have run out of fuel or something. There was just 0.1 between them as they were approaching the line there. But my timing screen just jumped away. So, any other battles? You got someone else running out of fuel as well, just chugging across the line. That's Chris Simpson. He's losing places all over. He was up in top 15, but yeah, finds himself way down there at the moment. So he'll be gutted on that one.
So what a cracking race that was to finish up a very good season here in the Skip Barber 2K Cup. Congratulations to Stein Shorthurst for taking that well-deserved win. It's a shame there's a bit of contact between himself and Sebastian there towards the end of the race, but certainly the win looked well-deserved. Congratulations as well to Conrad Macau, finishing just half a second behind in that 2nd position. He did a great job of closing back on those leaders after the pit stops. I did wonder if he was going to get dropped, but that was definitely not the case. Podium spot for Philip Labour, by 0.3 of a second in the end over Paul Clapp, then in 4th. Bart Hoogmid had a very good result, 5th position, so that's got to be his strongest result of the season, I am sure. For Ricardo Ferreira in 6th, that was probably also his strongest result as well. Eunice Pukara in 7th with Paul Grillo, then struggling at the end of the race in 8th. Matt Defoe finishes up with a 9th position with Kartik Pai in 10th. Chris McGowan in 11th with Mike Matheson in a slightly disappointing 12th. I'm sure he was looking like he was going to run much stronger than that earlier on in the race. Rob Kane then in 13th with Duncan Coppedge in 14th. Christopher Kroom in 15th, with Neil Kemp in 16th. Chris Simpson was in 17th, and Mike McCormick was 18th, with Ove Pearson in 19th and Rob Adams in 20th. Brian Dole was in 21st, with Ryan Devlin in 22nd. Francesco Tonin was in 23rd. Scott Hanlon was in 24th, and he was the last of the classified finishers.
I'm sorry to bring up the traditional screen with all of the controls, but like I say, we had quite a few technical issues and I haven't been able to get the overlay to work at all this afternoon. I'm just glad we've got a broadcast down, but yeah, we can see the official standings there on screen now as we just scroll down. It's great to see all the runners managed to stay on the lead lap as well, Lee. So yeah, good strength and depth once again in that field, and I look forward to seeing what season 3 will bring. Unfortunately, it won't be here on Apex Racing TV, but we'll certainly be keeping a close eye on that. I'm afraid some time in schedule conflicts denying us the opportunity to broadcast that one, but I have to say, Lee, we've had great fun in doing these 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's been very good seeing this series grow from its very first free race sort of pre-season trial, if you like, and for the vast majority of it, we've seen very, very clean racing. I think between the 3 seasons, maybe Okayama on one of the seasons springs to mind as not a great race for the series, but really then every other round has been good driving, and for the majority of them, good entertaining races as well. I think Zandvoort here is probably going to be pretty close to the top of list as to was one of the better races we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, I mean, at the start there, for what was probably 6 or 7 laps, maybe even longer, there was like 25 car train of traffic. So, yeah, let's hope we see more of that next season. And yeah, I wish all the guys that organise this and help out, and include especially Philippe, because he does most of the work, all the best. And yeah, let's hope it goes just as well next season. Talking of Philippe, he's down in the ready for interview channel. Let's bring him up and have one final word. Philippe, congratulations today. You managed to sneak 3rd place at the end there, but I sense it's probably not the race result you wanted. I know you like this track and very fast, hence the pole position time, but it just didn't go your way. And then did you get some sort of speeding penalty halfway through that?
No, I overshot my pit box, so I lost 7 seconds or 8 seconds in the pit, so that was why. And yeah, at the start, I think the strategy was thrown out of the window from lap 1. I don't know why, but it was a lot of fun, because it's like everyone was trying to create a good show for the last race of the season. It was well, pretty hectic.
But it certainly was a great show, I have to say. Thoroughly enjoyed it sitting up here in the comms box, so can only imagine how exciting it must have been in the cockpit there. And yeah, we didn't do exactly the maths, but I don't think you had a chance to win the championship today. But nonetheless, you'll be relatively happy with 3rd place.
Yeah, I'm happy considering what went wrong during the race. I think I had a shot at win. But yeah, I made a mistake, and yeah, mistakes are paid cash.
And Lee, have you got anything for Philippe?
Yeah, no, just very entertaining race, Philippe. As you said, really so unlucky that got drawn into the field a little bit at the beginning, but yeah, certainly it looked like you had well and truly the pace to be with Shorthurst and Job and Macau there at the very, very front. So we're looking forward to this different event next week then, Philippe. Were you able to just give us, the viewers, any details on what makes this different?
Yeah, so next week is a special event, elimination race, so we'll have 160 entries, and they will battle for the 40 fastest qualifying times, and then those are gridded in reverse order for the race. And then from then on, at the end of every lap, we'll eliminate the last car on the track. And when there are 2 cars left, they will battle it out for the win. So it's going to be a very entertaining race, I hope, because I don't think it's ever been done. Too bad I won't be able to participate, because I will have to administer the race. So.
Oh, it sounds very entertaining. We look forward to seeing how that all works out and how that is to spectate and to commentate as well. Right, well, congratulations again on your podium spot then, Philippe, and we look forward to speaking to you again at the end of next week.
All right, see you next week.
User was moved out of your channel.
Right, so that was a very fun way to wrap up the season, Alex. As we said, certainly one of the best results of the season. Congratulations again to Riku Alatalu for winning the championship here in season 4, and we look forward to seeing, as you said, as spectators for next season and seeing who fights for the championship then.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Just want to thank everybody that's tuned in over the last 2 seasons. We hope that we can perhaps be back in the future broadcasting this, but yeah, thank you again for everybody who's subscribed and liked our channel. We'll hopefully be back. We're doing some other broadcasts in the not too distant future.
Good, right, so thank you everybody. This has been Apex Racing TV for round 7 of the Skip Barber 2K Cup, and we look forward to seeing you next week for this special event. Thank you.